what do we do with all of the people who are two things. Number one, that are currently still stuck in MAGA, despite the very obvious and ridiculous just manner in which Donald Trump has said, you know what? Forget about my entire coalition. Right? This is where we are this week. He has said, forget about my entire coalition. What is most important to me is for me to preserve the people who are on the pedophile list. I'm trying to be careful with the P word, only because we know without a shadow of a doubt that is going to trigger the algorithm. Anytime we talk about this issue I don't know about any other YouTubers, but whenever I talk about the Epstein issue, it absolutely destroys the reach. But that's neither here nor there. For those of you that are here, the question that I'm picking up right after Andrea Rovinsky is, what do we do twofold? Number one, the people who are still stuck in this cult. And then two, how do we approach those people who have been set free? I've been saying it like this, and Andrea, I love Andrea, said, speaking of cult, Pastor Ben is up next. I'm probably gonna laugh about that for a while and say for a while. But speaking of cults, I actually have never seen anything like this, folks. I've been doing politics for a long time. I've been alive for a long time. I have never seen, this is how I'll say it in church speak, in religious speak. I've never seen a demon exercise itself. I've never seen a demon exercise itself. What do I mean? You don't watch The Exorcist and the demon that's in the little girl decides, yeah, I've had enough. I'm going to kick myself out. Right? You've never seen that happen. But here we are. Donald Trump is effectively kicking himself out of the American lexicon, out of the American society, out of the control that he had and has still over. Let's be sure he still has a significant amount of control over MAGA, and I've never seen someone with this much power throw it away. And who is he throwing it away for? He's throwing it away for the people on the Epstein list. Which brings us to, and I feel like I'm on a loop. Like I guess maybe I've done so many interviews this week, or I feel like did we talk about this last week? Because I know it really jumped off over the weekend was when it really, really jumped off. But I only really see three possibilities here. There's only three possibilities to explain what's going on with Donald Trump. Is number one, he's on the list. Now, I don't think anyone would be surprised if he is on the list. Number two, maybe he's not on the list, but he's deeply compromised on something else that is worthwhile him destroying his entire power base. He is destroying the entirety of the power structure that got him where he is right now. And then to assume, actually, let me give you the third one before I go to the next part, because this newest thing that just came out yesterday is kind of, he's really beside himself. But number three, he just doesn't care. Now, this one is the most far-fetched, because I don't see him not caring about the power that he could wield, right? But perhaps the power is in him not revealing it. So number one, he's either on the list. Number two, he's compromised by something else. Or number three, he doesn't care enough about the list to miss the opportunity that's in front of him by preserving the list. Now that requires something else to be on the table, some type of offers, right? But it's a possibility. All of those possibilities make more sense than what we're seeing right now. Right? The claims that, oh, it isn't real. Oh, it's a hoax. It's a Russia hoax. And here's the thing. Why wouldn't Donald Trump expect for his followers to just go along with him? Now, I have to go here first before I go into being kind to MAGA, because I do have some kind words for them today, believe it or not. But I got to start where I've got to start where it's realist. Why on earth would Donald Trump believe that he couldn't get away with this? He's gotten away with everything else, right? Hasn't he? He's gotten away with every other lie, hasn't he? They believed every other thing that he said, no matter how ridiculous, no matter how absurd, no matter how just offensive on the face it is, no matter what, he's been able to get away with it. So why would he not expect that he couldn't get away with it right now? Fact of the matter is he cannot get away with it. It has been pretty bad. I want to show you how bad it is. I want to share this video. This is N. Smith Sr., N. Smith Fitness. Don't really know who he is. I just want to give him credit before I play his video. This is what he had to say about and to Donald Trump. And this is after Donald Trump told everybody, which is amazing to me, just absolutely amazing to me that Donald Trump would say this. So he said, if you're still going after the Epstein files, you're not a supporter of his. And you know what the people are saying? Okay, that's fine. We don't support you. Here's one guy saying it, and I'm sure I didn't edit it. So here we go. Let's listen.
They gave you their votes. To nobody's surprise, Donald Trump is now tripling down on his denial and refusal to address the Epstein files properly. Bro, you didn't just casually mention Epstein. You campaigned on it. You, your sons, your allies, the entire GOP wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. You banged Epstein's name like a war drum. You built a hell of a lot of political capital on it. We're going to expose the pedophiles. We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to bring the elites to justice. We're going to expose the list, all the Democrats. People believed you. They rallied behind you. They gave you their votes, their trust, their money, and their hope. But now, all you do is continue to bullshit and lie. You underestimated significantly how much people care about the truth of this subject. You thought that you could slide this one by and memory hole it, but it's been 6 months that you've been in office. And now the heat is on. So what do? You scream, it's a hoax. It's a Democrat hoax. And then when people don't like that answer, as they shouldn't, you call your own base weaklings and you call them past supporters. And then you say that you don't even want their support. You even had to make a call to the right-wing influencers to stay silent on it because people won't shut up. You don't even pretend like you fight for the base anymore. Epstein is dead, allegedly. Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison. The victims are real, and the evidence has been public. This stuff was released before COVID on Gawker and all over the internet. This isn't a hoax. And this is one thing that everybody on the left and the right agrees on.
That's right. Well, not everybody. There are about, I don't know, man. There's about a few thousand MAGA. There's about a few thousand MAGA who are still standing by their man. But I have to now. Let me just come full circle to MAGA, man, because honestly, I can't help but to be grateful. And I know Andrea Ravinsky somewhere saying, that pastor, he's letting the better nature of me get a hold of me. I can't help. Listen, I never thought that I would say this about MAGA within the first year of him being elected a second term. But I have to admit that I am extremely pleasantly surprised and grateful that they drew the line somewhere. I know the bar is low. The bar is in hell. But when you consider the fact that we actually might be living in a recursive hell here on earth anyway, I'm just sorry, that's a different show. That's a different stream. It's something. It's a starting point. It's at least like, I feel like they miss so many other opportunities to just do the basic, decent human thing. I felt like when they threw their children out into the pandemic unvaccinated and pretended like it wasn't real, and they just let their children and themselves, but particularly I'm thinking about their children getting reinfected over and over and over and over again, like, it's no big deal. I felt at that point, well, if they'll do that to their children, they'll do anything to their children. You know, that's when my existential crisis came upon me back in 2021, when I realized, holy cow, these people don't even care about their own children. Well, okay, some of them do still. Some of them care enough about their children to know that what Donald Trump is doing here is something that they cannot go along with. So I have to acknowledge that. I have to breathe and tip my hat to them and say, you know what? This is something that the left and the right can agree on. This is something, to me, that's worth burning down the entire system. People are using the excuse saying, oh, well, maybe there's something on there that could disrupt the entire system. Okay, then it needs to be disrupted. Because if there's so much power concentrated on, and I wish I could get a better clip. I'm going to play a clip of someone on the Senate floor who was making the case. And actually, I think I should pull that up next before Donald Trump. There was somebody on the Senate floor who was making the case of how many transactions were wired directly into Jeffrey Epstein's one bank account, not two bank accounts. Over 4,000 transactions that total up to about over $1 billion. Let me share that instead. Listen to this real quick.
4,725 wire transfers. Let me repeat that. 4,725 wire transfers, adding up to nearly $1.1 billion flowing in and out of just one of Mr. Epstein's bank accounts.
$4,000. 4,000 transactions, over $1 billion. That's over $200,000 per transaction. Okay, so you can get the scope of it. Let's say there was one person who went multiple times. So that's not necessarily 4,000 individuals, right? But that's a lot of people, and that's a lot of money. That means you have your disposable income is such that you could spend over $200,000 trafficking in children, right? So when I say this is something that's worth bringing the system down, I mean that. Because if you have that many powerful and rich people who are able to get away with the predation of our children, child predation, and this system is going to protect them, then what are we even doing here? I'm going to use a bad analogy that I think many people, if you've seen the movie, you might disagree with me on, but no, I don't think you would disagree with me. The movie Snowpiercer, not the television show, but the movie Snowpiercer. When it was revealed that the entire train that was riding through the, frozen wasteland of a post-apocalyptic society where the poorest people were in the back eating nothing but recycled bugs and turned into a gelatinous substance for food. And then in the very front, you go through all the hierarchies of society. And then you get to the very front of the train. You get to the people who are running the train, and you realize, wow, the train is running off of child labor. And the individual was like, the guy, Captain America, what's his name? The guy who's a star of it. Anyway, I can't think of his name, but he was like, well, I guess we're going to have to derail this whole train. And he did. Once you get to the core functioning ethos of a society, and you see that fundamental governing ethos of that society is the predation of children. Now, in the movie case, they derailed the entire system and they were out into the oblivion of the wasteland. And I was like, I don't know. Maybe if they worked out something with the children and held them in the highest esteem and gave them the best life that they could. And, maybe they could have fixed civilization because they were headed out into the wasteland. Everybody died except for them. That means that's the end of civilization altogether. So I was wrestling with that. But when we're talking about reality being such that they are preying on children for their entertainment pleasure, and they can afford to spend 200 grand roughly per child or per encounter, per trip to his island, and there's over 4,000 of them, that's not a system that's worth preserving. We could do fine without them. In fact, letting them stay, letting this system stay is obviously the pathway to get us to a destroyed, a post-apocalyptic world, mind you. Because think about this. If you can be as evil as someone who preys on children and as evil as a system that protects them, what else is too hard for them? What else would they not do? Would they not start a war just because? Would they not engage in a genocide just because? What's going to stop a person who sits around and preys on little children from having the conscience necessary to not engage in genocide, to not start a pestilence, to not sit back and watch millions and billions of people die? Let's listen to Donald Trump as he basically said, I don't like you losers anymore. He was like, I don't like you. You aren't my supporter anymore.
I'd rather talk about this.
Mr. President, I know you want to move past all this intrigue over the Epstein files, but I do want to ask you to clarify something you said this morning. You said this was all a hoax. Has your attorney general told you this was a hoax? What evidence have you seen?
No, it's not the attorney general. No, I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him. And it's a bad group. It started, actually, look at the Steele dossier that turned out to be a total hoax. The 51 agents, the intelligence, so-called intelligence agents, it was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. And some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work. The Democrats are good for nothing other than these hoaxes. They're bad for policy. They're bad for picking candidates that can get elected. Like in New York, we have a communist running. He may get elected too, actually, but he'll destroy the city. It's I call it the Epstein hoax. It takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements, we've had a great gentleman yesterday, as you know, went on CNBC and he made the statement that Trump may go down as the greatest president of all in the United States. And instead of talking about the things we've achieved, we've had tremendous achievement. They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including the Middle East. I mean, you see it. Instead, they want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people. Go ahead.
I hadn't heard the last 2 seconds of it. He literally called them stupid. I've never seen a demon exercise itself. But strange times are we are living in. We are living in strange times, are we not? I mean, this is like the young girl on The Exorcist, tied and strangled to the bed, like just canceling, just rebuking her own self, just throwing holy water on her. Donald Trump has found the issue that will make and has made millions of MAGA, because he's only supported on this matter by 3% of the nation. Only 3% of the nation support Donald Trump in this matter. He has found the issue that is going to get him out of, I mean, not necessarily power, because actually I think he's pretty sick from what the reports are saying, and he might not live. I don't know the severity of the sickness he has. I didn't even look up the severity, but it had his ankle swollen like potatoes. And then that presents another problem, because if Donald Trump is no longer there, then we get them far more efficient, far more proficient of a liar. I mean, J.D. Vance is a way better liar than Donald Trump. And we would get J.D. Vance to finish out these next 4 years. But the good thing about it is that it doesn't really matter what happens at this point, you know? Donald Trump has inadvertently, like, he didn't think it would happen, right? I know he did. He's doing what he's doing on purpose. That's clear. But I don't think he believed that he was going to create this type of wedge. And it's not just a wedge, it's an awakening. It is an awakening. That's the thing that he does not, he can't believe. He can't believe that, look at me trying to, thank you, Nick. It's an awakening. There is a fracture, not a fracture, a rupture. There is a rupture in the thinking of MAGA, because right now they're having to deal with this. Two things. One, three things. One, this man has absolutely no respect for them. And what do I mean by that? It's obvious just on the surface level, but he has no respect for them because, one, he campaigned on this, and then now he's saying, look the other way. Now he's calling them stupid. Now he's insulting them. All of the arrogance that they liked about him has now turned around internally, and it's directed directly at them. I shouldn't have started. I shouldn't have said how many things, because now I can't remember the last one. But the second thing is, the other rupture is this. They're thinking to themselves, wow, if he's lying to us about this, what else is he lying to us about?